Okay, for more on this, I want to bring in Sherry Benson-Podolchuk. She's a former RCMP officer. We've reached her in Gimli, Manitoba. Thank you, Sherry, for your time.
Thanks for having me, Sarah.
I've heard of, we've heard of bad apples within police forces, and important to say these are charges, they're not proven, but they seem pretty significant in terms of allegations ever made against police officers, at least that I'm familiar with. What do you make of these charges and what it might do, frankly, to the image of the Winnipeg Police?
Well, my experience as an RCMP officer with the Winnipeg City Police has always been very positive. They've been respectful, professional, never had a problem. And we have to remember that it just takes one person to ruin the reputation of a workplace. And I was very disappointed and thoroughly disgusted in the behavior that the senior officer, he had 22 years, that he's being charged with. And right now, there's certainly there will be a break of the trust from the citizens in the community to the Winnipeg City Police, and that's unfair, as well as the breach of trust and between their co-workers. You start to second guess the person that you're working with if they do something wrong, and we all make mistakes. And I think it takes tremendous courage for the people who have seen something, like what did they know, when did they know it, and what did they do, to speak up and confront this person, and then to make it so that there's charges, so somebody in authority knows. And especially if you're a junior constable and you see a senior constable behaving that way, the message is very damaging. And also it's very dangerous, because now you know that this person is willing to do this kind of criminal activity. Will they be willing to do something that could harm me if I speak up?
It's alleged that these activities took place both on and off duty. And it's interesting what you're talking about here, because potentially, and I don't think we know how these charges have come about, but potentially, certainly, it could have been a colleague who noticed something and did have the courage to speak out. Is there, aside from, hey, I saw something and I'm saying something, are there other checks and balances that should or are happening within police forces like Winnipeg to ensure that it's not just a whistleblower maybe who would come forward, but it could be caught some other way?
I think it's important to establish kind of a pattern of behavior. Once is an accident, twice is a coincidence, 3 times is a pattern of behavior. If someone says something and does something once, because we all make mistakes, we say the dumb things, we might tweet the wrong thing, that's fine, we all do that. However, if you keep doing it, then it's up to the people around you to say something. And maybe not right away make a formal complaint, but at least talk to the person whose behavior is questionable. Because quite often people and I've seen this in my own experience with the RCMP, that you get wrapped up in your identity and then you'll do everything to protect it. And sometimes they're willing to cross the moral, ethical, and legal lines. And that's where someone speaking up and addressing it early might not have ended in the slippery slope into disaster that the Winnipeg City Police is now dealing with. The good thing is that they said there was a 16-month investigation, so that means they're taking this very, very seriously, and I'm glad they are, because their reputation is good. It's unfortunate that just a few people can ruin 1,200 people who are doing their job, coming to work, wanting to go home safe, and keeping our community as safe as possible. And then knowing that there are one or two people that can just ruin it with a few terrible mistakes.
Well, so then I want to ask you about that, because, and I'm going to run out of time here, but I do want to ask you what you are expecting to hear next, or hope you're going to hear next. Not so much about the officers who are now making the charges are making their way through the court, but from the Winnipeg Police Force, because as you say, there's now, a loss of trust potentially with the public. What does the force have to do to rectify that?
Well, certainly improve their training in bystander. What do you see? If you see something, say something, what to do. There's no retribution for you if you speak up, because that can also be a career halting, ending decision if you speak up. And I think that to build trust, they continue with the investigation, they follow through with the investigation. And if other people are found to be at fault or know something and did nothing, that they are also held accountable. Because I don't think it is just two people. There must be somebody else. Somebody must have seen something in the last 10 years, even before that, that would have, some red flags, and people were just willing to say, oh, he's such a nice guy. Oh, he's such a good worker. We're just going to let it slide. These are some of the things that the Winnipeg City Police can address.
And this is the sort of thing that we will see as this plays out through the court, because as I say, these are charges, allegations, and they still need to be proven in court. Sherry Benson-Podolchuk, former RCMP officer, thanks so much for your time tonight.
Thank you.